10 times SpongeBob broke the internet. SpongeBob is certainly one of the most quotable and memeable shows to ever make its way onto television. Though there have been several occasions when SpongeBob essentially broke the internet. Before we get started, be sure to hit that like button so we know who the real SpongeBob fans are. The beginnings of SpongeBob SquarePants. SpongeBob was first previewed at the Kids' Choice Awards back in 1999. The preview was so well received that the series was given the green light, officially premiering on July 17, 1999. It was an instant classic with fans and critics alike. Before long, a full-length movie had been commissioned by Nickelodeon, performing incredibly well at the box office. Over a decade later, another movie was ordered in 2015. According to Nickelodeon, the series has gained at least $13 billion for the production company, making it one of the most successful cartoons of all time. And by a long shot, in a tragic turn of events, the show's creator, Steven Hillenburg, passed away in 2018 after suffering from ALS. The series was able to continue without him, but it's unlikely it will ever be the same without his input and creative direction. This is echoed by the fact that Steven was always adamantly opposed to creating a spin-off series involving SpongeBob characters. Though, just a few months after he passed, Nickelodeon announced they were going to greenlight 3 spin-off series, directly against Steven's wishes. Though that's another story for another time. SpongeBob SquarePants was created by Steven Hillenburg in the early 90s. He had always been fascinated with the ocean and marine life, and these passions helped fuel the many characters he would develop for the series. Steven worked at the Ocean Institute in California for many years, tossing around the idea of returning to college to earn a master's degree in art. Though, when Steven attended an animation festival, his plans for the future abruptly changed. He had previously been developing SpongeBob characters for a comic series that he hoped to get picked up, but none of the publishing companies were interested in the story. That's when Steven decided to switch gears and focus more on animation than graphic novels.
I don't know, Mr. Krabs. That sounds a lot like human trafficking.
Money, 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 money.
What the hell are you doing in my house anyway?
Steven soon attended a festival with a short cartoon he had made and screened it at the California Institute of Arts. Joe Murray, the creator of Rocko's Modern Life, happened to be at the event and was impressed with Steven's work. Joe offered Steven a place on the team at Nickelodeon, with Steven helping to create and direct many of the episodes in the 4th season of Rocko's Modern Life. Steven soon started working alongside Tom Kenny, who would eventually voice SpongeBob in the animated series. When Steven was developing the character, he originally planned to name him SpongeBob, with the show being called SpongeBoy Ahoy. Though, due to legal issues, the name needed to be changed. Steven settled on SpongeBob, with Tom Kenny later remarking, "Boy, look at this sponge in his square pants," thinking he can get a job in a fast food place. This remark is what led Steven to create SpongeBob's last name, SquarePants. A 7-minute series pilot was soon created, and the rest, as you know, is history. Big Pink Loser. In this episode of SpongeBob, Patrick had been feeling pretty low about himself. He wanted to prove he was a worthy member of society, so he decided to apply for a job at the Krusty Krab. Mr. Krabs wasn't too sure what work he had for Patrick, so he decided to simply put him on the phone lines to answer customer questions. The phones in the Krusty Krab hardly ever ring.
Why don't you go home, Patrick? You can compete in the laying under a rock all day games.
At least I don't polish my fingernails.
You take that back!
Though, as soon as Patrick is stationed by the phone, it begins to ring repeatedly. Patrick asks, "Hello?" with each call, to which the customers reply, "Is this the Krusty Krab?" Patrick begins by calmly replying, "No, this is Patrick." Though the calls continue, Patrick likely received about half a dozen calls, asking if this was the Krusty Krab. Patrick finally slams the phone down after screaming, "No, this is Patrick." He mumbles under his breath, "I'm not a Krusty Krab." And thus, the meme was born. Frankendoodle. This episode had many parallels to the classic story Frankenstein's Monster, though most viewers likely missed these little Easter eggs. SpongeBob comes across a magical pencil that is capable of bringing life to anything he draws. In an attempt to make himself a clone, SpongeBob draws himself, though he's not necessarily the greatest artist in the world. This causes his sketch to resemble an absolute abomination of a clone, resulting in the clone becoming his evil twin. The clone soon takes the pencil from SpongeBob, proclaiming the classic line, "Ni moi, noi me, noi me." The clone proceeds to wreak havoc on SpongeBob's daily life, terrorizing the citizens of Bikini Bottom until SpongeBob can retrieve the pencil and erase Doodlebob. Doodlebob became a meme online very quickly, and he is often posted alongside horribly drawn images. He even inspired an online fan game called Doodlebob and the Magic Pencil. Squidville. Most of us have likely dreamt of living in a place where we feel as though we belong and have a purpose in the local local culture. Squidward has dreamt of this much more than most of us likely have, and he finally found his big break one day. A television fell from the sky, playing an ad for Squidville. This was a beautiful town filled only with squids who go about their squidly duties and live normal squid lives. Squidward had long felt as though he didn't fit in Bikini Bottom, so the advertisement caught his attention immediately. Though Patrick suddenly turns the TV off and mumbles, "I hate this channel."
You now, then move to...
I hate this channel.
No! Tentacle Acres, where happiness is just a suction cup away.
You'd think that memes would have been born regarding this weird squid village, but instead, the internet latched onto Patrick's one-liner, and it has been a staple in the SpongeBob meme community ever since. It has been used alongside various video clips, songs, music videos, TV clips, and much more. SB-129. Everything is Chrome in the future. We've finally reached that point in the list, the famous SB-129 episode. This episode first premiered in 1999, but fans have not let the story told in this episode die down after all this time. It is just as popular today as it was 20 years ago. This episode sees Squidward time travel in a meat locker to the future. When he arrives, he is released by SpongeBob. Moments before, it seems as though he may have met his end. When he emerges from the meat locker, he asks SpongeBob why everything is chrome. SpongeBob calmly replies, "Everything is chrome in the future." We could stop here, as I'm sure we've all heard this line 1,000 times. Though that wasn't the only meme to have been born from this episode. We are quickly introduced to the caveman counterparts of SpongeBob and Patrick. These are two primitive versions of our beloved characters who are completely clueless to the world around them, yet still close friends. The image of caveman SpongeBob has been used in internet memes for over half a decade, after it was first posted in 2016. It often accompanies various types of images and has become one of the most popular memes on both Reddit and Imgur, as well as 4chan. Tea at the Tree Dome. This is one of SpongeBob's earliest episodes, and sees SpongeBob and Patrick meet with Sandy at the Tree Dome, though they soon discover that Sandy doesn't live in the water. She has crafted a massive glass chamber that houses its private ecosystem that is completely water-free, so that she can breathe, just like she was back home in Texas. SpongeBob and Patrick are blissfully unaware of this.
There, that ought to do it. If y'all needed water, you should have asked. I propose toast.
So they come inside, but immediately begin to dehydrate. They are too awkward to explain the situation to Sandy, and work to devise any plan they can to leave without her noticing. She eventually grabs a glass of ice-cold water, leading SpongeBob to stare at the glass, mentally repeating the iconic phrase, "I don't need it, I don't need it." Eventually, Sandy realizes the problem and offers the boys some bowls of water, as well as tea bags to flavor the water. This has become yet another overused internet phrase that can be applied in virtually any scenario. Little Yellow Book. This meme has nothing to do with the episode, but it's still pretty funny and has become one of the most popular meme formats ever. The episode sees Squidward discovering that SpongeBob is compelled to quack like a duck every time he sees Plaid. He also pretends to be a chicken at one point in the episode, instantly leading to millions of internet memes that have screenshotted the episode, using the image as a way to mock other users. These images are usually accompanied by text that is punctuated and capitalized in all the wrong places. Confused Mr. Krabs. Confused Mr. Krabs is an internet meme that stemmed from the episode Patty Hype. A screenshot of Mr. Krabs was taken from this episode, originally being captions with the phrase, "When you just wake up from a nap and your parents are already yelling at you." Mr. Krabs looks incredibly panicked in this screenshot, allowing the meme to be used in countless scenarios over the years. Just one bite. I feel like this episode and joke doesn't need to be explained, but let's go for it anyway. In the episode, Just One Bite, Squidward insists that he hates Krabby Patties, though he has never tried one. SpongeBob convinces him to take just one bite, and Squidward falls in love, gorging himself on thousands of Krabby Patties. SpongeBob soon learns about this. His face scrunches up and he mumbles, "You like Krabby Patties, don't you, Squidward?" No weenies allowed. This episode gave birth to an iconic screenshot, rather than a quote or phrase. SpongeBob is convinced that he will be let into a club called the Salty Spittoon. He approaches the bouncer and is stopped, with the bouncer asking, "How tough are you?" SpongeBob replies that he was watering his garden the other day and stubbed his toe, saying, "I only cried for 20 minutes. He is promptly referred to the Weenie Hut. The screenshot of SpongeBob and the bouncer has been reused and applied in countless situations over the years. Idiot Box. We finally made our way to the most famous time that Idiot Box gave birth to the meme, which shows SpongeBob holding his hands above his head while casting a rainbow and saying, "Imagination." This screenshot has been captioned more times than we can count, though it's most commonly used these days as a way to be derogatory to other internet users, often being posted alongside the phrase, "Nobody cares."